special friends of mine. I'm gonna be talking to Victoria Monet and BB Borelli today. Yes, BB. Hello, Angel.
Hello. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, I think everyone's good. I can hear you perfectly, so they're gonna have to
Okay.
deal.
How are you?
What's up? Hello.
I'm
They
excited.
told me Vic was having some technical issues, but we can get started. Um, between you and I. How are you
Yes.
feeling? Welcome.
I'm good. It was my birthday yesterday.
Ah, that's true. Happy birthday, Angel.
Thank
Oh my goodness.
you.
Yes, my cancer baby.
I know, I'm so emotional. Both of us are cancers, right?
We are indeed. We very much are indeed.
Wait, when's your birthday?
June 27th.
Oh, so you're June baby.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I,
July.
I I just saw a meme today of like cancers that was like two different pictures of Selena Gomez, and it was like one of them was like June cancers, and she was just like chilling and like sipping a drink and stuff, like looking like a bad bitch. And then in the next one, it was like July cancers, and it was her like almost on the verge of tears.
Yeah, bruh. Exactly. Me all the time, 24/7. I'm always almost on the fucking verge of tears.
Honestly, I feel you though. Like I know
Oh,
that
wait,
they said that the
really
June
quickly, just wait, are we allowed to curse or no?
Oh, that's a good question. Sometimes I curse. I'm sure Facebook would prefer if we didn't, knowing,
Okay.
their energy. So maybe we don't curse.
Okay, cool. No, okay, cool.
But it slips all the time for me. So like if it slips, I feel like it's fine.
Okay.
I'm no one to give the authority on this, but hey, it's my show. Hey, we got Vic in the house. Oh, Victoria.
Victoria.
Hello,
Yeah.
hello.
Yes, you sound so sweet.
You can hear me? Oh my God, I'm so excited. We've having some technical difficulties, so I'm glad it's working.
Yeah, it's
Hi.
working. Thank God. Okay, welcome. All right, everybody. So today we're going to be talking about staying true to yourself. I feel like BB Vic, you guys are both such incredible songstresses, songwriters, beautiful artists, and I know that y'all both have been through the ringer in this industry, just like in that staying true to yourself kind of modality of just navigating through life. So yeah, I'd love to hear about both of y'all's stories. Just tell us like what your yeah story is. Like, how did you get involved with music, and how did you know that that was what your heart was telling you that you wanted to do?
Who do you want to start?
Vic, if you want to go, whichever one of y'all.
Vic, do you want to start or should I start?
It's
Hello?
kind of like in and out. Yeah, hey. So sweet.
So I guess I'll start.
Okay,
You
baby,
guys can
yeah,
hear
go
me?
ahead. We
Yes.
can hear you, mama.
So yeah, I guess I'll start. I mean, I got involved in music. I was born into like a musical background, a musical family. My father is a professional musician. And I really, well, like I was born into it, but I really actually seriously got into it after my mom passed away because it was something that I used as a form of kind of communication to express my feelings. And my mom passed away when I was 6 years old. And I got really engulfed in expressing myself. And I think that, like, you know, when we talk about the topic of like staying true to yourself, it's like when you go through really difficult things, almost like traumatic events, for me at least, it's so unhealthy not to be completely in like your feelings and in who you are. And I think that I just made a habit out of expressing myself like the most authentic way through music and like being myself kind of because it was a way of kind of dealing with trauma, you know?
Yeah,
Um
100% feel you.
yeah, it was like a way of like dealing with trauma and um but the outcome of it just so happened to lead me to like, where I am today. So kind of not being not even being able to not be true to myself because if I'm not true to myself then like stuff will really hit the fan. You know what I mean? Like literally being in that kind of position.
Right. You feel like sometimes I feel like it's I mean, I know it's like spiritual even most of the time. It's like my ancestors and stuff, like just making sure that I'm in alignment with my true self. Because they know that when I'm not, like I get physically ill. You know what I'm saying? Like it actually does.
Exactly. Yes.
This is true.
It's so true. Like it's so mentally exhausting and spiritually exhausting faking it, faking things. Like it trying to conform, trying to change yourself. It's like I feel like everybody kind of has like a calling or a sense of purpose when they're little, kind of like things that you like, just naturally like, or um, things that you're just naturally good at. And I feel like people either numb themselves to their purpose, you know what I mean, or they you know follow it, or always feel the kind of urge to kind of like follow it. So it's so important because that feeling doesn't go away unless like you numb it, you know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
but
I
it's
also
the
feel
most
like
invigorating thing to like to walk in like your desires and your purpose and like your soul's calling. Yeah.
I also feel like it takes like a strong individual too, though, because I feel like the world is constantly telling us who we're supposed to be and constantly trying to mold us into like this specific character that's quote unquote sellable, or especially in our industry, you know what I mean? I feel like they tend to put women into this category, especially, you know, women of color, like into this category where like they have to be a specific thing in order to quote unquote work. And that's what I love about like both of y'all's artistic journeys, is that you're so true to your essence, you know, and you always deliver you to the world, you know?
Yeah, so do you. And
Thank
Victoria,
you.
of course. Like Victoria was such a big inspiration for me, like on my fitness journey too. Like your
Oh,
discipline was like insane, and seeing that was like phenomenal. So you too. But yeah, no, I think it
thank
does take
you.
a strong individual. And I think that like people sleep on circumstances. So it's like,
Right.
luckily, like I believed I could be a musician because my family and my father was a musician. I don't know what I would have done if like I didn't have actual examples there of people who like did what I wanted to do or did what I felt like my purpose was. Like it must be so hard as a kid kind of growing up in an environment where you're constantly being told that it's not possible. You don't have an example to see, that it's possible. But the truth is like when you like I'm learning like the power of faith and like just diabolical confidence and just believing. You know what I mean? Like staying true to
Diabolical
yourself.
confidence is it?
Diabolical confidence is
Like
more
just
than half the
straight up
battle.
full-fledged confidence. That's that, even when you don't feel it, like even when it feels fake as fuck, it's so important. That belief in self is really the driving factor in like 99% of people's success, you know?
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
faking it.
it's absolutely, I agree 100%
Yeah.
with that. Like, I think even from us having the dream of being songwriters or artists is already a way of that we fought, for ourselves and advocated for our real dreams, because in school the natural thing was like, I want to be a scientist, I want to be a doctor, I want to be all of these
A
things that
lawyer.
you would
Mm-hmm.
like, you have to go to school. There was a certain process that people expected of you, and this, it seemed like it was the only option. So for even for us to say, be confident enough to say, this is actually what I want to do, and I know it's off the wall, and I know it's 1 in 100 million people, and all of these things, that's definitely something that shows confidence at a young age, and really strong determination, and you something that you can't really fight because it's just in you. It's what you love to do.
100%. Vic, I'd love to hear your story about like how you just got involved with music and like your kind of little journey, or your your journey into where you're at now.
Um, well, I was definitely born into a musical family too. Um, and also being an only child, I feel like that was kind of a way for me to talk to someone and express myself, and writing little things, singing little melodies, making melodies out of things I was reading. Even at a time I took piano lessons, and I was noticing how even taking classical piano for a couple months at a time helped me in math. And I was like, wow, this I don't know how this is working, but something about music is connecting all of my purpose. Like it's connecting me and making me better at other areas of my life. So I decided to move to LA and audition for this girl group, and I made it to the girl group, and I moved like to LA 2 weeks after that, and I've just been fighting since then. It was a time where me and this girl group were singing outside of In-N-Out, trying to ask people for money, all the way to like
I feel you.
finding a
we,
place,
we did
right?
multiples.
Right? It's
Yep.
crazy all the things we would do, but we in our hearts, it was
Belief.
just a calling. Yeah, we were just like, it doesn't matter. Right now, it's hard, sure, but like we're about to make something of this dream, and no one can take that away from you.
Amen. Do you guys feel like, well, for those of you guys who are just tuning in, hi, it's Lauren, and I'm here with Vivi Borelli and Victoria Monet, and we're talking about staying true to yourself, and expressing yourself authentically. So a question for you guys, like, do you feel like there's ever been a time where you kind of went against that gut instinct of yours and that staying true to yourself? And what did that teach you, and how did you kind of grow through that?
Who do you want to go? Just
Baby, you
whoever.
can start.
Okay,
Or,
I'll start.
yeah.
There's absolutely been times where I have not listened to my instincts, particularly in people that I was collaborating with and working with.
Right.
And I remember very specifically going against what my heart was telling me. Like, I remember looking out of the window and being like, I know what the fuck, excuse me, I know what I need to do, but just not having the courage or the confidence to act on what it was that I needed to do. And it prolonged my process for like 3 more extra years.
Right.
But I also, and like, I just thinking back at that, I'm like, dude, you know, obviously the natural feeling is like, you should have listened to your instincts. And every single time I have listened to my instincts and it kind of steered me in a direction where I felt like I made a mistake, I still learned a lot from it. It's like,
right,
listening to yourself and your intuition will guide you to will kind of like guide you to the lessons that you need to learn. So it's
absolutely,
or you know, like that are most that need to resonate with you. So like listening to your instincts, even if you make a decision that may not get you the results that you necessarily like want, like, or that you saw for yourself.
The ones that you had assumed were your plan.
Right. The ones that you had assumed were your plan. It's still going to provide you with a lesson that resonates. Whereas not listening or not being true to yourself will kind of have you stuck in limbo, sort of, you know, like it kind of prolongs everything, because it's like you're not moving fluidly, you know what I mean? You're kind of just like moving in a circle of limbo, and you're not acting on what your heart is telling you to act on, or whatever. I'm also a type of person that feels like feelings are more important than facts. Right. So, you know, but yeah, for sure.
Like, you move with your gut always.
Yeah, I like, well, I don't always move with my gut, but I aspire to always move with my gut. Like, when I don't move with my gut, it really wears on me. Like, it really affects my perspective. It affects my mental health. It affects my clarity. Like, it affects everything. Like, it really is like a big weight on me. So the times that I haven't moved with my gut, it really wore on me. Like, I gained a bunch of weight. I was super stressed. I started to have a really negative outlook and a negative perspective on things, because there were things that I needed to do that I knew in my heart that I needed to do, like, that I wasn't doing because I wasn't confident enough, or I was afraid that I would fail, or I was afraid that I would, you know, I was afraid of how people would see me or perceive me.
Of judgment. Yeah. I feel like fear of judgment really drives a lot of the decisions that we make that go against our natural instinct. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Go ahead, Vic. I'd love to hear about your story as well.
I mean, I would just, you know, going off of you guys, I definitely feel like when you have a certain goal in your mind and a way that you think things should happen, and your personal timing versus the universe and God's actual timing for you, it can be tricky to kind of just have discernment and know which way that you're supposed to go. Like, say, for example, somebody's offering you a certain amount of money, but to get, to get a product, and you know that if you did it your way, it may take a little bit longer, but because you think that that income would help you get there faster or more efficiently, you may choose that based on certain things, certain outside factors. And I feel like sometimes being yourself is the long scenic route, and
Right.
that's fine. Like that's,
That's
you know,
how I've been feeling. Like,
right?
I think through my
So
process,
real, so real.
my process since leaving the group has definitely been that. It's like, as I become more myself, as I unravel and as I unveil the self that was already there, but also has grown a lot, because I'm not who I used to be, but I am. You know what I'm saying? It's like, there's like the essence is there, but plus all of the growth from the lessons that have confronted me along the way in my journey. But it's like, oh, I had a point and I left it somewhere.
I mean, I even think, even when you're talking
Oh, the
about growth,
scenic
it's like,
route.
oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry. The scenic route to being yourself is that sometimes it takes time, because like you said, it's like the offer will present itself and you're like, wow, this seems really great, but in the long run, am I the one who's going to be benefiting from this? No, and so you have to make those choices of like, do I want short-term instant gratification and like, zoom, like, wow, look at me in the spotlight or whatever, or do I want to take like patient, precise steps towards the full vision of what I see for myself, not just the momentary snapshots.
Right.
And
I mean, today I think we're kind of trained to, with social media and everything, there is that pressure for instant gratification. It happens daily. With every
Right.
post, with every upload, you're like, okay, cool. You have to do something today. There's that constant, it's just pressure. And so,
Mm-hmm.
um, definitely the journey will, your own personal journey that you really believe in and that your gut is leading you towards, will help you understand the why after you get there. But sometimes while you're walking that path, you can't really see it. The trees are blocking you, it's kind of dim. But once you get to the other side, you're like, I understand why it was my my purpose to go this route instead of the instant gratification route. And it's going to be more worth it that way, because it's
Right.
you're living in your
and
truth.
and just yeah, and just to add to that point, like I feel like even as we're talking about growth and we're talking about development and stuff, and like we're all young women, right? We're all like young women in our 20s. It's so
Mm-hmm.
crazy because we started this shit young. And
Young.
as like the climate of the business is changing, I'm coming to find more and more that like self-discovery does not happen at like 15, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
18 or
Way.
like 19, like being able to make like really come into yourself and really figure out what it is that who you are, and like feeling beautiful and feeling comfortable with who you are, like it comes as you develop and kind of step into your like almost womanhood sort of,
Right.
so
Right.
I feel like a lot of young girls feel this pressure to like be away or know everything, and it's like the reality is it like we are not in like 1996 anymore where
No.
like you have to be this age to like even in the entertainment business or just in general to be of a certain stature, and if you're not there at this point, then it's like it's a completely different time now where you can have, as a young woman, you can have children, you can be in your 30s even and like have a successful career and all this stuff. So it's really just, I think growth has a lot to do with like maturity too.
I
Yeah.
completely agree with you. I feel like the girl that I was when I was 16 coming into this industry, she had no idea what was ahead of her. And in the same way, it's like you think you know yourself at 16, and then and then life hits you, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
so it's like all of the stuff, all of the like even stuff down to childhood trauma that you never even confronted or saw there, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? That you never had figured out. Like all of those things and the ways that we operated when we were kids, they manifest themselves. And then if you put that in the amplification of being famous, like or having a career that is public domain for criticism at all times, you know what I'm saying? Like that is a whole type of other layer to add to the shift, to the shifting of self, to the creation of self, to the when to that process of figuring out who you are and then learning to adult you know what I'm saying, like learning
Right.
to reparent yourself, learning all of those things while simultaneously trying to be something for someone, because I feel like the artist kind of motif has really become this like idol role model character, you know what I'm saying, that like while I understand why, you know, that is, I also feel like we're all human, you know, every single
Right.
person who puts their art out there is first of all coming from their soul, if that's the way that they connect with their art, you know. And so, you know, not everybody's soul is bright and happy and positive all the time,
Not
you
all
know.
the time. Right.
There's a wide range of expression, especially when you're in that kind of deep dark, or like, or not even just dark, but like it's the depths of your soul, you know. Like, which is I feel like
Right.
where we have to go to bring out art, whether it's positive or negative or whatever it is, you know. So all of
Right.
those factors I think really weigh in on our ability to show up for ourselves and like have that confidence that we even need to stay true to ourselves in this kind of industry, you know.
Yeah, and I think even confident, the word confidence should travel in your good and bad times. Like you have to be confident in your sorrows, like confident even when you're sad. Like, okay, this is exactly where I should be. I need this for, it's just like weather. It's like, oh, duh, of course you need rain because that's how you grow. Like, this is just how it works. We have the example in earth. Like, okay, the earth cries, the earth shines. This is a dynamic that you need to appreciate the other one when it comes. So you have to go through those things. We are not demigods. People who write, people who make music, artists, like, we shouldn't be looked at as that. I am really glad to see, though, that therapy is being more normalized because growing up, I thought of honestly to be like, I thought it was like a rich person's like dramatic thing that they did.
Yeah.
Like therapy now feels more like going to the gym. It's like obviously if you work out and you try to train your body, why wouldn't you clean your mind and train your mind? And so I definitely agree with people using therapy even from a younger age. I wish
Yeah.
I, some of the things that I know now by going to therapy, I think could have been avoided just if I had started sooner. So I want to even encourage people who are under 18, under 5, like, okay, therapy sessions. This is a normal thing that people need to do to discuss their feelings and traumas and move
And
through them
trigger.
and go through them.
And clarity, like to have clarity too. Like I think that like sometimes when we're really cerebral and we don't express how we feel to each other, we kind of feel like we're going crazy, you
Or we're
know?
alone.
And it's like a lot of what will help kind of decipher like and clear the path is clarity and expressing, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
and understanding that we all go through similar things despite what path we take. It's all kind of similar in one form or another, and both of
Yeah.
you guys' journey is so inspiring. I'm telling you, like I'm so inspired by both of you guys, and I think you guys are amazing.
Oh, we are inspired by you.
Yes, baby, we really are. Yeah, I love this. I love that I've been able to have these conversations with such dope, like powerful, like creatives and minds, because yeah, I really admire both of y'all and the way that you navigate yourselves as people first and foremost, and then of course as artists, you know.
Yeah, no, I admire you too. I know we've had our relationship, and I've seen you go through so much from since I met you to now, and like I
Yeah.
almost feel like I've seen you grow into the woman that you are. Like it's crazy, like seeing you navigate all of these things, especially like you said on a public platform. I've just been so proud of you from a distance, just
Thank you, Mom.
watching your grace and seeing how you are online active and articulating all of your feelings, very vulnerable as well. And sometimes when we see that, it's like a sigh of relief. You're like, oh my god, okay, this amazing person feels this way too. Okay, great, I'm not alone. I didn't say anything, but I'm glad they said it because I relate, and I see
Right.
that people are vulnerable on social media. It's just like appreciated.
And freeing
Yeah.
yourself too. Like it's been so cool to see, like gradually, like even just how outspoken you are. Like it seems like it's like daily. It's like you're more empowered. You know what I mean? It's really dope.
Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Oof. All right. Beautiful. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. I mean, it's already, we got like 2 more minutes left, but I feel like you guys, the last question was going to be like kind of advice that you had for people who are people pleasers. So I know that we just talked about therapy. I think it's such a brilliant tool that Vic highlighted. I think that, you know, I've had like my own journey with therapy, but definitely having a source to talk to and talk through things um, is important. Like if that's something that is accessible to you, and even like I feel like therapy is also one of those things that is more accessible than you think it is. Um, because like a lot of the time it seems like it's something that's very distant, like Vic said, it's something like only rich people can do. And yeah, like sometimes that is the case, but then there's also like a lot of really brilliant practitioners who are available in like your insurance bracket or whatever. What's it called? An insurance bracket? Is that what it's called? I don't know.
Yeah,
We
and then
understand. We
I'm like, is it a tax bracket or an insurance
yeah.
bracket? But you
I
know what I
think
mean.
there's apps too, right? Like it makes it super easy to find someone that's less expensive. I don't know the apps. I'm not very helpful, but I know there are now apps that have resources for
Yeah.
therapy.
Or any other advice y'all want to give to anyone who
I would say, to go back to your question, for people who are people pleasers, one easy quote to remember, when you feel like you're doing the most, trying to extend yourself for someone, just remember that you are a person too. So then that gives you the right to please yourself and just
Ooh,
pour into yourself that way. So people pleasers, you are a person too.
I love that.
I love that.
I mean,
Advice for people pleasers. Yeah, I mean, basically what Victoria said, like, you can't really be happy and experience what you're meant to experience in the world through constantly, like, trying to appease others. And, like, the only way to really live to the fullest of your capacity is to please yourself and to invest in yourself so that you can help other people in a real way and you can really be a light to other people. You know, the more that we pour into ourselves, the brighter our light shines, and the more we will inspire others, you know, in a real way. Sometimes people have to see it to believe it. And like, yeah, I guess, yeah, same thing.
Indeed.
right.
Well, thank you, ladies. I really appreciate you guys coming through and having this conversation with me. I hope to see you guys soon. I'm in LA, so let's hang out. I have like mad people that I need to hang out with and see. And
Yeah, we
really,
have a list. We haven't seen anyone in a year.
ooh,
Like, can we hang out?
can we
We
hang?
would love
No,
to.
we're gonna make it happen. But I love y'all. Have a beautiful
We
day.
love you.
Love you. Thank you so
Bye,
much.
guys.
Bye, guys.
All right. Thank you everybody for joining us. I hope that you guys got some beautiful gems out of out of this conversation. It's beautiful people, beautiful conversations. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.